Hi there, my name is Katharina and I want to talk about the 3 dimensions of clarity. It will help you to find focused action. And that's so important because when we're in this process of finding clarity for our visionary business, we experience times of fogginess and overwhelm, and it's hard to decide what is really important. So here's the model. It's a very simple mathematical model, actually. We have 3 dimensions. First one is depth. Second one is direction. Third one is action. It's like a 3-dimensional space. And as in every good mathematical equation, we can only investigate one variable. So here it goes. We always start with depth. Depth is our courage to go for the stuff that is really meaningful, to really create the world we're dreaming about with our business, and to drop all the bullshit that doesn't feel aligned. That is usually the most scary thing, because we are brought up in systems where we learn we have to betray who we are. We have to betray our love and our soul in order to fit in. And there are so many templates out there, and everybody's screaming, this is the method, and you need to do this, and this is how success looks like. But as a visionary, you're here to bring new ideas. You're here to teach us how to see the world with new eyes. You're here to challenge old paradigms. So depth is the first and most important thing. And in fact, very often, a lot of the pain and the confusion and the fogginess and the procrastination stems from the fact that we haven't found the next most important place of deepness in us. And everything in us will resist if success in the terms of our ego, or according to the terms of our ego, means that we have to continue to betray ourselves. So something in us will slam the brake when we continue to betray our heart. And if you're here to bring a soulful business into the world, already there is so much awakened in you that wants to be shared, so you have access to this energy. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel this urge to show up with all your love and your wisdom and your visions. So first dimension, depth. Second dimension, bringing this depth into a form, deciding on the formats, deciding on the people you want to work with, and creating structures and forms that help you to show up and that help the world to receive paralyzed because everything in me says I'm going to die. Die only a little bit. That's the right kind of depth, you know. Then for the next time, a week, a 2, a month, 2 months, whatever time you need to work on your structure, but set yourself a limit. You know, don't give yourself the allowance to explore your forms for 5 years. Because sometimes we explore one dimension endlessly because we're scared that things get rolling. So give yourself some time, focus time to work only on the forms and the formats and the way you become visible. And when it feels like good enough, and good enough for me is find the most simple, fundamental way to channel your energy. Don't make like 20 different offerings and super complicated homepages. When you're in the process of starting especially, find one thing and say, okay, this is the most basic offer I have, and I can do it with little effort, and this is the way I'm going to show up. And then when you have this, develop a strategy to actually do it and work on the strategy. And stick to this dimension, investigate it, and see how it performs in the world and what it does to you, if it takes you deeper, if it makes you expand, if it makes you happy. And so this is a cycle, and we run through this cycle again and again, and each time it will lead us to more clarity, to more joy. It will bring us home to who we are, and it will create our own current we can step into. So work on the depth for some time, work on the forms and formats, and work on the action, and then start over again. Like the results you had after your action phase will feed your depth again. Next important thing is, when you ask for feedback, make yourself successful with it and help people to make it easy for them. And it means let them know what you're working at. Tell them, in my laboratory, in my business laboratory, I'm working on this dimension, depth, whatever, and I only want to have feedback for this thing. And please don't tell me all the other stuff. I can't take this information. So ask for focused feedback only in regard to the dimension you're working at. And when you are working on one dimension, leave the other dimensions alone. So when you're working on depth, don't rewrite your copy, don't set up the next 5-year plan. And when you're working on your formats and forms, don't question the depth. Our mind, our superego tries to do that. It's a very efficient way to create fogginess, doubt all 3 dimensions at the same time. So when you experience fogginess, come back to the drawing board and have a close look at what I'm actually working at. What is the experiment right now? And stick to it. Drop the urge to mess with all 3 dimensions. This is like the most important thing. Really, it will be so helpful. Stick to one thing, explore it, see how it performs. Ask for very focused feedback. So here you have it, 3 dimensions of clarity. Let me know how they work for you, and as always, you will find your voice, you will find your clarity, the fogginess will lift, I promise you. And please keep going. We need people who show up with their love, with their wisdom, with their soulful ideas to change this world. So don't give up and stick to it. Yay! Much love, Katharina.